Hi, this is Pooja Banerjee. For a special chat session के लिए we have some really experienced people with us.
Your own mother is not being overbearing.
हमें कैसे पता चलेगा कि एक बच्चे का पेट भर गया है?
सबको लगता है बेबी रो रहा है यानी कि हंग्री है.
डिस्क्लेमर है ये.
Sania, there are many mothers in this audience. Many mothers. I mean, again, you've defied every time society has asked you a question, trolls have asked you a question, you've given it back. I mean, 26 kilos you shed after motherhood, and we all followed you. Each one felt inspired, man, woman. Can you tell us that story? I mean, to come back after motherhood, and then Izhan there in Australian Open, coming to the stadium, making a Grand Slam final in your last Grand Slam. Sania Mirza.
I think that for me, one of my motivations, I won't say the only motivation, but a very big part of my comeback after, you know, I was so big when I got pregnant. I was like breathing and putting on weight. I don't know how many people can actually relate to this over here who are mothers, but like literally I was like, my God, I put on 24 kilos or 23 kilos or something. And I'm sitting there 20 kilos overweight, and I think Boria had also met me at that point when I was quite overweight, and I said, yeah, I'm going to make a comeback. And I think everybody thought I was a fool. They were like, seriously? And I'm sitting there 20 kilos overweight, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to make a comeback, and I'm going to play at the best, you know, the biggest stage again. And one of the reasons for that was obviously my personal interest in doing it, but also the fact that I think we come from a large majority of society where they believe that once you become a mother, your life almost ends, and it's all about the child. Like everything is about the child. Everything is about not giving that self-love to yourself. And I think that it's very important to realize that becoming a mother is a brand new life. It's not the end of a life. And I think that if I inspired even one mother, a young mother, to do what she loved after she had a kid, if I inspired one mother to love herself for that 1 hour a day or 2 hours a day and do something for herself, because all the mothers here will understand that our priority becomes kids, and we almost forget ourselves in the process, especially in the initial years of being a mom. So I think that for me, making that comeback was to try to, you know, inspire as many women as possible to try and believe in themselves and actually live for themselves as well, as long as, you know, they are doing the other duties too. And also, when somebody tells me I can't do something, then I have to do it. So, you know, I was told many times that, "Arey, tujhse to nahi hoga bhai, tu kahan se 20 kilo lose karke?" I was like, well, 4 months later, I had lost 26 kilos. So that is just who I am as a person, I guess. And so all those things were something that really inspired me to come back and to try and set at least some kind of example. I used to log out of all my social media for any of the big games because, you know, as we know, we become a very sport-obsessed country 2 months before the Olympics, and all of a sudden everybody's like, oh my God, we have to come back with 25 medals, and then 2 months later they forget about it again. So, but I used to just log out, and that's the best way to do it, trust me.
Sania, how did you deal with social media? Because 20 years earlier, this was not there. I mean, the whole social media issue about trolls, you're not, you know, controversies have happened with you, with all of us, and each time again you've inspired. When you were body shamed, when the 26 kilos, the 23 kilos, you were body shamed each time during motherhood. How did you deal with that? Where did you get that inner resilience from?
I dealt with it with a lot of humor, to be very honest. For me, social media is just a small part of my life because I understand that, you know, we live in a day and age where we can't do without social media because that's the sort of need of the hour. But honestly, like, I don't take social media very seriously. For me, it is not something that, like, I'll read a bad comment, I'm like, oh my God, it has broken my day. Like, that never happens to me. Yeah, I mean, as a human being, you do feel bad maybe for a moment or something, and then you feel bad for that person because you just feel like, my God, he must be such a loser. He's sitting on hating on a person that he doesn't even know. So you honestly have to take social media with a pinch of salt and or a fist of salt sometimes. And for me, I've also grown up in an era where there were there was no social media. Yes, Nikhat, there used to be an era like that where we didn't have to deal with everyday question marks about who we are, what we do, what we wear, how we look, how we eat. And nobody really knew what we were doing. There were no Instagram stories. There was nothing, right? We had lived an anonymous sort of life, at least our private life. And so for me, I know the way it feels to live without it, and I know the way it feels to live with it, and we have to move ahead with time. So you get on social media, but trust me, I don't think social media should make or break anybody's day, because it really doesn't deserve that much acknowledgement.
Yes, it's one thing to be a great, but then another thing to be world number one. 44 matches, multiple weeks, a whole year, not losing. Tell me about that streak with Martina, and you all were unbeatable, and to scale one peak after another, Sania.
Yeah, I think that as an athlete, and I think no matter what sport you play, I think that at some point you would love to feel invincible. And very few get to taste that. Very few get to taste the feeling of like when you walk on the court, you feel like, you know what, I think that I'm probably going to win this match. And, you know, when we went on that 44, was it 44? I mean, I don't even know, 43, 44, we went on this match-winning streak. We didn't lose for 6 months. And, you know, every time we stepped on the court, it was very hard in a way, because you had to find the balance between almost being cocky and being confident. Yet when you were walking on the court, you felt like we were probably going to win this match. And because Martina and I were that good under pressure, I feel that we both felt very confident when the chips were down, especially. So that is a feeling that every athlete wants to be like in the zone. I think, you know, Nikhat will know what I mean. Like when you say, I'm in the zone, like it's almost like you see nothing else except the tennis court and the ball for me. And you see nothing else. You feel like everything is working your way. And you're lucky if it happens for a day. You're very lucky if it happens for a week. In my case, we were very, very fortunate. It happened for 6 months, where we were in the zone. And it was an amazing feeling. It was an unbelievable feeling to be able to call yourselves the best in the world by far, you know. And that is something that only what dreams are made of. Like as a child, you fill slam books in your school and say, I want to be number one in the world one day to your friends, and that actually happens to you. So when that does happen, it's almost surreal.
Absolutely, and I remember that chit that your father had once shared, right? That chit where you had written this about being world number one. Final question, Sania, tell me an Izhan story. How is it, Sania as a mother? Of course, we don't get to see Sania and Izhan. What is that little story or that little moment that you share with him that you can publicly possibly disclose?
I mean, right now he's 5 going on 15. So it's like everything is a question, and everything is a why, and everything is a why not.
Your son?
Yeah, he's
Don't
my
be
son.
surprised.
He's my son. He's got sarcasm like me as well. I didn't know a 5-year-old understood what sarcasm meant until I had him. No, it's amazing. I mean, I think that you know, becoming a mother really did, like every other parent, it really made me, I won't say a better person. I think it made me evolve as a human being. I think that, and we've discussed this when we've not been on stage in person as well, where I really do feel that as athletes, we're very selfish people, okay? Unfortunately, that's the truth, because that's the nature of our job. Our job is to worry about ourselves. Our job is to say, oh, this is what I want to eat. This is what I want to do. This is what time I want to wake up. And then everybody else in the team just kind of goes along. I want to eat pasta today. I don't want to eat this. I want gluten-free. Please I want warm up this time. I don't want to play this time. And then all of a sudden you have this child, and I was lying there in the hospital after this C-section I had, and nobody asked about me. They're like, where's the baby? Where's the baby? Where's the baby? I was like, wow, this is a good reality check that has happened in our lives. And everything was like, oh, how much does the baby poop? How much does the baby drink milk? Everything was, I'm like, really? I mean, I just gave birth, but you can ask me about myself as well. But I think in general, as a mother, you don't feel anything. You actually feel that I didn't know I had the capacity to love someone so much and want more than I want for myself. And I think that only a parent will tell you. That feeling is so incredible, and that's why you evolve as a human being.
Fantastic.